Hello and welcome to Courts Today by Live Law. Let's get to today's top legal updates. Stringent penal laws like UP Gangsters Act can't be used as a tool of harassment. Supreme Court. Supreme Court refuses to entertain pleas seeking e-passes for Lord Murugan conference at Madurai. Merely mentioning wrong subsection in charge sheet does not render entire investigation illegal, Odisha High Court. Married daughters of deceased entitled to compensation for loss of consortium, Himachal Pradesh High Court. Karnataka High Court suggests state to bring regulations to monitor sewage treatment plants. I'm your host Yashasvi Gupta with your daily roundup of legal updates from across the country. For detailed reading, you can always visit on www.livelaw.in. Please make sure to watch this video till the end and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel because your support means the world to us. The Supreme Court quashed an FIR filed under the UP Gangsters Act against individuals involved in the single mob clash, with no evidence of their continuous involvement in the anti-social activities, cautioning against the misuse of such stringent laws. The bench of Justice Vikram Nath and Justice Sandeep Mehta held that extraordinary laws like the UP Gangsters Act must be invoked judiciously, not as a tool of harassment. The court emphasized that the Act cannot apply for isolated incidents without the proof of ongoing criminal conduct. It also noted that the state failed to follow guidelines from Gorakhnath Mishra versus State of UP, which require careful assessment before applying the Act. The Supreme Court declined to entertain a petition challenging the requirement imposed by the Madurai police for obtaining vehicle passes 24 hours in advance from the DSP for the Lord Murugan conference on June 22nd. The petitioner approached the Supreme Court against the Madras High Court's order, refusing to grant relief to the petitioner to apply for e-passes on the existing Tamil Nadu e-pass portal for the upcoming event. The matter was listed before Justices Sandeep Mehta and Justice P.B. Varale. In this case, the petitioner argued for digital access, citing nationwide digitalization. However, the court noted the logistical difficulties cited by the authorities and questioned the feasibility of compelling e-pass issuance. As the petitioner had not exhausted the letters patent appeal remedy, the court allowed withdrawal of the SLP, granting liberty to approach the High Court. The Odisha High Court held that merely citing the wrong subsection in a charge sheet does not nullify an investigation. The petitioner accused under IPC sections 498A, 313 and 34 challenged the proceedings, arguing the police incorrectly invoked section 193 clause 8 of the BNSS for further investigation instead of section 193 clause 9. The court clarified that such an error does not invalidate the probe. Referring to CBI versus Kapil Wadhwan, the court held that once the court takes cognizance of the offence, it is immaterial whether the further investigation is pending or whether it is for production of some documents not available at the time of filing of charge sheet. It would neither vitiate the charge sheet nor would entitle the accused to default bail. Accordingly, the court neither deemed it fit to quash the proceedings nor to put a stay on the same until the submission of the final charge sheet. The Himachal Pradesh High Court held that under the Motor Vehicles Act, compensation for loss of income is limited to financially dependent family members, but married daughters are still entitled to compensation for loss of consortium. The case involved the death of a deceased person who died after falling from a crowded bus. The Motor Accident Claims Tribunal had awarded 15.8 lakh to the claimants, which was challenged by the Oriental Insurance Company. The company argued that there was no independent eyewitness and the deceased was partly at fault. However, the court found the testimony of the deceased colleague reliable as he was present at the time of the accident. Also, his statement was consistent and also recorded in the FIR. The court observed that his testimony could not be questioned merely because he knew the deceased. The court ruled that only the wife and the son were entitled to loss of income compensation amounting to 13.28 lakh, and all four married daughters were granted 40,000 each under loss of consortium, emphasizing emotional loss as separate from financial dependency. The Karnataka High Court orally urged the state government to urgently regulate sewage treatment plants in both public and private properties, citing recent deaths due to manual scavenging. The observation came during a hearing on a plea by the All India Central Council Trade Union seeking a comprehensive survey of STPs in all private and public properties across the state. Further, it sought a direction on the respondent to develop a comprehensive manual in regard to working conditions and safety of workers. Advocate Maitreyi Krishnan highlighted recurring fatalities in Bengaluru's STPs, noting the lack of regulation on workers' condition. The state informed the court that guidelines are being drafted and will be implemented after approval by the Karnataka State Pollution Control Board. The court further questioned the Pollution Control Board's oversight of worker safety and directed the state to file its response within 4 weeks.